In this video, we are going to learn trigonometry and application of trigonometry. So let's start. So basically, trigonometry is used in a right angle triangle. A right angle triangle means you have one angle of the triangle has 90 degree. For example, this is your 90-degree angle, and the side opposite to the 90-degree angle is called as hypotenuse. This is your hypotenuse. And so, for example, if this is your angle, any angle, and I'm naming it as theta. So sine theta will be equal to opposite side divided by hypotenuse. So what is the opposite side of this theta? The opposite side is this side, and this is your AB, for example ABC. So opposite side will be AB and your hypotenuse will be AC. Now you know sine theta. So what will be the cos theta? So cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So what is meant by adjacent side? So adjacent side is basically this is your theta. So adjacent side this is BC. You can't consider this side because this is hypotenuse. Adjacent side means neighborhood side of this angle. So neighborhood side of this angle is BC. So your cos theta will be equal to BC divided by AC. Then there is another trigonometric ratio, that is the tan theta, and this is equal to opposite side divided by adjacent side. So what will come here? This is what opposite side divided by adjacent side. So opposite side of the theta is AB and adjacent side is your BC. So you can write tan theta as. So basically there are six trigonometric ratios. So your first is sine, then second is cos, then tan, then cot, then sec, then cosec. So sine is inverse function of this cosec, and cos is inverse function of this sec, and tan is inverse function of this cot. Since you know that sine theta is equal to opposite side divided by hypotenuse, so your cosec theta will be equal to hypotenuse divided by opposite side. In the same way for all the inverse functions. For example, you have cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So which is the inverse? So inverse function of cos theta is sec theta. So sec theta is equal to hypotenuse divided by adjacent side. You can also write tan theta as sin theta divided by cos theta. Now you will say how we can write this. Since you know that tan theta is equal to opposite side divided by adjacent side. And you also know that sin theta is equal to opposite side divided by hypotenuse. And cos theta is equal to adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. So when we divide this sin theta divided by cos theta, so you will came to know that opposite side divided by hypotenuse, then this divided by this adjacent side divided by hypotenuse. We are dividing sin theta and cos theta. So tan theta can be written as sin theta divided by cos theta. Let I show you how. Since this hypo is in the denominator, so this will go up and it will come in the numerator like this. So we can now rough it. So you know that this will get cancelled. This will get cancelled, and what you are left with opposite side divided by adjacent side. So that is a tan theta formula, and this is also equal to sin theta divided by cos theta. So you can see that we can write tan theta as sin theta divided by cos theta. Now we are going to see values for some trigonometric ratios. For example, if the theta is your 0 degree, and if it is 30 degree, or it is 45 degree, or it is 60 degree, or it is 90 degree. So what will be the value of sine 0 degree? So it will be equal to 0. And what will be the value of sine 30 degree? It will be half. So you can write here, for sine 0 degree will be equal to 0, and sine 30 degree will be equal to half. Sine 45 degree will be equal to 1 by root 2, and sine 60 degree will be equal to root 3 divided by 2, and sine 90 degree will be equal to 1. So you can also check this using your formulas. So let I show you that. Since sine 90 degree is coming 1, so let's see how it is coming 1. So let's consider this triangle, and this is a 90 degree, and this is your ABC. So sine 90 degree means sine of this angle. And what is the formula for this sine 90 degree will be opposite side. So what is the opposite side is AC, and divided by hypotenuse. So hypotenuse is also AC. So when you cut this, you got 1. So in this way, you got sine 90 degree value as 1. So these are values for sine. So let's see values for cos theta. So cos 0 degree will be 1, and cos 30 degree will be root 3 divided by 2, and cos 45 degree will be equal to 1 by root 2, and cos 60 degree will be half, and cos 90 degree will be 0. You can inverse this part so that you can get this cos theta values. Now let's see 10. So tan 0 degree will be 0, and tan 30 degree will be 1 by root 3, and tan 45 degree will be equal to 1, and tan 60 degree will be equal to root 3, and your tan 90 degree will be undefined. So how we calculated this tan theta values? Since you know that tan theta is equal to sine theta divided by cos theta, so when we divide this value with this value, 0 divided by 1, you got 0, and half divided by root 3 by 2, so this denominator 2 gets cancelled, and you got only the numerator values, that is 1 divided by root 3. In the same way, when you divide 1 by 0, so since you know that when you divide any number by 0, so it is undefined, so we can write it as undefined, or you can also say this as infinity. So now you know the basic concepts of trigonometry. So now let's see the application of this basics. So how we can apply. So for example, if you have this building here, okay, and the distance between the building and the person is something 10 meter, and the person is watching at the top of the building at some angle. Let's say that angle is 30 degree. So this angle is called as angle of elevation. This is what angle of elevation. The person is watching from the ground to the top of the floor, so that this angle is called as angle of elevation. And if person would watching could if watches from here to the downside, then this angle will be called as angle of depression. If anybody watches from the top of the building to the ground at some point, then we can say this angle has angle of depression. And when watching to the top of the building from the down, then this is your angle of elevation. So now we are considering the case of angle of elevation, so we don't need this angle of depression. So now we can measure the height of the building using the trigonometric formulas. How? So let's see how we can find this. So we have this distance between the building and the person. So that is 10 meter. You can see that we can, since you know that the height of the building is always 90 degree to the ground. This is the basic knowledge that you should have, that we consider the height of the building with the ground as 90 degree. So this will be your 90 degree angle. and this is the distance between the person and the building. So this is 10 meter given, and you can consider this as hypotenuse, and this angle is given as sine 30 degree. Yeah, if we solve this for finding height of the building, so you can have in the form of triangle like this. This is your height of the building, and this is the line that is a light ray, you can say. So you can consider it as hypotenuse, and this is your distance between the building and the person, and so this distance is 10 meter. We have to find this h, and this angle of elevation is 30 degree. Person is watching the top of the building at some angle at the 30 degree angle. So now we can solve this using trigonometric formulas. So let's consider sine 30 degree. You can take any trigonometric ratio. Here I am using sine 30 degree. You can also use cos 30 degree or tan 30 degree. So sine 30 degree, since you know that sine formula is that opposite side divided by adjacent hypotenuse. So what is the side that is opposite to this 30 degree is your height of the building divided by hypotenuse. So you have your hypotenuse. Since you know that sine 30 degree value is equal to half, so this will be equal to half. So you got height, okay, you got height divided by hypotenuse as half. Now we will consider the Pythagoras theorem formula, that is hypotenuse square is equal to one side square plus second side square. So this side square plus this side square is equal to hypotenuse square. Since this is a right angle triangle, we can use the Pythagoras theorem here. So now let's solve this. You got height divided by hypotenuse as half, and you have hypotenuse square is equal to h square plus d square. So where d is equal to your 10. So now we will do is you can write hypotenuse is equal to 2h. How you can write this? You can get 2 here and hypo here. So you will get hypotenuse is equal to 2h. So you can substitute into this equation. So you will get 2h square is equal to h square plus 10 square. So you will get your 4h square is equal to h square plus 100. Now you can get h square on this side, and you will get 3h square is equal to 100. So h square will be equal to 100 divided by 3. So this will be equal to h is equal to square root of 100 divided by 3. So this will be equal to h is equal to this will be equal to h is equal to 10 divided by square root of 3. So this will be the height of your building in meters. So you got height of the building has 10 divided by root 3 meters. So this is what height of the building. So these values are not accurate values. These are basically for showing you the basic concept that how the trigonometric formulas are applied for finding the height of the building.